Wasted world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted World of Sports crew, ahoy. How is everybody doing? Indigenous round continues here as the Penrith Panthers travel to Newcastle to take on the Knights. Welcome along wherever you're joining us from here on the Wasted World of Sports, whether that be YouTube, whether that be Twitch, and we're trying to get over there on TikTok. Ahoy, TikTokers. Let's see how we go, because over there recently we've been getting pinged for unoriginal content. I don't know what's more original than legitimately going live, so we're trying out the last possible thing we can think of to try out over there and see how it goes. John Michael, ahoy mate, how are you doing? Chris Bradley, channel member, ahoy buddy. Semi Salsa, ahoy there mate. John Michael, how are you there mate? Welcome back for another night. The Knights taking on the Panthers, a big test. Now, the Panthers are obviously on a big run of form at the moment, winning a lot of games in succession. But here's an interesting little tidbit as we go into this contest. The Newcastle Knights were the last team to defeat the Panthers. So it was Newcastle causing an upset, and that actually set the Panthers on this path of destruction that they've been on, beating everybody before them. Can the Knights trip them up again here on Indigenous round at home? Remember, they did it away last time. Now, away against the Panthers is not all it used to be, because the Panthers don't have a home ground at the moment. Thank you very much for the heart me's over there on TikTok. Cheers. Wow, that TikTok camera is very, very bright. Mookie, ahoy, mate. Yes, welcome along, everybody. Wasted World of Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Twitch, bringing you all the action each and every weekend for some of your favorite sports. NRL, Rugby Union, Big Bash Cricket's coming up again soon. That's a good multi, actually. Yes, oh, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I see it hitting tonight too, because we have been on a huge run of 3 out of 4 leggers, and aren't those painful? The boys and their one-leg multi-misses. Amen to that. So fingers crossed for a hit here tonight. We are due for one. Hopefully we get it done. I just feel like, even though, as I pointed out just before, the Penrith Panthers, their last defeat was at the hands of the Newcastle Knights, I just don't see it happening here. They're in too good form, and the Knights are just still in a little bit of a rabble. Another new halves pairing. Have the Newcastle Knights at any point this season gone back-to-back with the same halves pairing in a match? It's hard to build any cohesion, any sort of form, when you're constantly chopping and changing your halves pairing. Interesting to see how Jake Arthur goes tonight. Jake Arthur, of course, son, I believe, that's correct, of Brad Arthur, former Parramatta Eels coach. Used to be with the Eels, got handed off here, handed off there, handed off everywhere. Jake Arthur. Let's see how he goes tonight, starting at 5'8". A lot of youngsters, of course, too, in this Panthers squad, which is scary for the upcoming years. If you think they're going to stop at 4, think again, is basically what I'm trying to say there. This is a team still young, still building, still capable off the back of Cleary, Yeo, Edwards, Liam Martin, who still have multiple years left in them. This will be a team that will be fighting for premierships for years to come. I'm sorry to tell anybody who doesn't like the Panthers, they're going to be around up towards the top of finals time for quite a few years to come yet. Gaz Johnson, ahoy mate. Gamer Mel, ahoy. Mitchell Vella Sport, ahoy. David Turakara. David Chukakabra, how are you mate? Mookie, how's it going buddy? I think I already said ahoy Mookie. BTC, ahoy mate. Referee's blown his whistle. That's taken everybody by surprise, no less me. And the Knights go kind of short with the kickoff. But Dylan Edwards was wise to it and has reacted nice and quickly. And he's got possession there for the visitors, for the Panthers. And let's see if they can get the job done here and continue this immaculate run of form that they've been on. Mitchell Vela Sports asking if it's going to be raining there tonight. Well, it looks a little bit moist, I'm not going to lie. Looks a little bit wet out there, but maybe just dew on the surface. I don't think it's actually been raining or is going to rain throughout the course of this night. As up to the halfway line go the Panthers. Cleary puts the kick in. And he's sending it down just outside the Knights' 10. Well done by Marju, who steps away from the kick chase and brings it outside the 20. Greg Marju does not want to be stopped. A beautiful kick return there and some front foot ball for the Newcastle Knights. So, yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be raining or not. The weather looks fine. Just a little bit slippery on the surface, perhaps. Matt Ahoy there over on the TikTok. Who am I backing next week in the grand final rematch? As the Knights almost penetrate the Panthers line here. Defensive line, that is. They're 40 out from their own try line. No chance of scoring just yet. I have to go for the Storm. I reckon the Storm get the win, break the streak. When you're on a streak, you've got to lose at some stage, right? When you're on a streak, that has to come to an end. We saw it with the Raiders as the Knights put this kick down and it's taken by To'o. Panthers back in possession. So both teams getting through their first sets of 6 unscathed. And that's good news for both of them. Panthers back in possession. Yes, so I think the Storm will win in the regular season. And I think the Panthers will then get the Storm in the rematch come finals time. Sheminem, ahoy, mate. Oh, from dummy half goes Mitch Kenny. Takes it up towards halfway. 6 again. And Lindsay Smith now takes tackle 1 just inside the Knights' territory. This is a good build-up for the Panthers now. UFC, ahoy, mate. Wouldn't it be perfect irony if this is the game the Panthers lose that cost them the top 4 spot? Well, between you and I, UFC, I would have thought that you would think the perfect irony for the Panthers to lose the top 4 spot in a game over would be when they play the Raiders in a few weeks' time. That's what I would have thought. I understand the irony of the last time the Panthers lost. It was against Newcastle. Imagine them losing again. I get it from that perspective. But just between you and I, as Blaze Talangi scoots off down the short side, a nice pass off the hip to Luke Garner, and the Panthers are in. Just like that, they're up 4-0 off the back of that 6 again. They've marched upfield and scored easily. Luke Garner, well, he's nowhere near my multi. But some worrying signs here for the Knights early on. The Panthers just opened them up way too easy down their short side. 10 metres out from the line, Kenny to Blaze Talangi holds the pass up. And a nice short ball puts Garner into a gap. And he can't be stopped. JC Smoke, ahoy, mates. It's meant to be raining over a course stadium tomorrow for the Bulldogs vs Warriors game. Well, there you go. That gives the understrength and depleted Warriors a very good chance, doesn't it? We've seen what happens to the Bulldogs in the wet. They don't perform well. BFTA Vibes, NZ, ahoy, mate. How are you going? Nice to see you. What a start here for the Panthers. Nathan Cleary from out wide. Lining this one up. Jonah, ahoy, mate. Zoe, ahoy. Cleary moves in, pushes this one off to the right. A poor attempt at conversion. He'll be unhappy with that. I bet he doesn't miss another kick a goal all night now. He'll be furious with himself. Nathan Cleary doesn't like it when he doesn't get it right. Four points to 0. The Panthers lead. Jonah, do I think the Sharkies win tomorrow? Ooh. The local derby, Sharks versus Dragons. I mean, I really, really want to say yes, but The Dragons, I've been saying it all year, the Dragons are capable. On their day, more than capable. They've beaten the Storm, they've beaten the Raiders. On their day, they're certainly more than capable of defeating the Sharks. That's for sure. Look, I would like to think the Sharks are in good enough form at the moment to win. As an early shift here on play 2 from the Panthers, inside their own half, Casey McLean can't fend away from Fletcher Hunt. And he's taken down on halfway. Slow play the ball as the Knights risk another set restart. Thomas Jenkins brings it up to the 40. Papali'i, who's filling in for Isaiah Yeo tonight. Papali'i, of course, a regular starter in the team, but not normally the starting lock. From 30 out, Cleary puts this one high. The Panthers chase through and put pressure on him. Marju spills it. Leota picks it up. Flick pass out the back of the hand to Lindsay Smith. And it's another try for the Panthers. Marju spills the high ball. And the Panthers go in again. What a start this has been from Penrith. 6 minutes gone. And they're up 8-0 with the kick to come. Although they haven't gone back to position just yet. Let's see if there's a cheeky little hand in here. Well, let's see if they're onside for starters. The kick chasers, were they onside? That's the first thing to look at. Leota scoops it up. A nice little flick pass out the back. Shemin says, do you think Brisbane are done for the year? That they're my team, but I think they won't make the 8 now. I don't think so. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I mean, Ben Hunt's there. Ben Hunt can fill in one of the halves positions. And I know for a fact the Broncos have a couple of good young halves coming through the system, whether they're ready or not to throw them out there. But it's only going to be for 4 weeks, isn't it? Like, Adam Reynolds and Ezra will be back for the finals. So I reckon they've got enough to sneak into the 8. Brian To'o gets a touch on this, but it was off his head. And I dare say that'll be play on, and another try will stand here for the Panthers. And Nathan Cleary from right beside the posts, he'll make no mistake with this one, to put the Panthers up 10 points to 0. Puts it down the middle. See, what I'm saying is, Shemin, what I'm saying is losing both your halves, in not only in one game, but in one sequence of play. I don't care who you are. That is going to have an effect on your game. The Broncos' attack was pretty much non-existent when that happened. But at least next week, and you don't know that's going to happen, also, is a point that I was trying to make. When you lose a player throughout the course of a game, you don't know that that's going to happen, so you're not necessarily prepared. They're actually prepared. Next week, they know Reynolds and Mam aren't going to be there. So we know that Ben Hunt will be starting in the halves. We know that one of the youngsters will be coming through and joining him in the halves. You can prepare for it. And you can plan around it. So I don't think that their attack will be as dire in the coming weeks. Because they know that they're going to have to prepare for that situation. Girl over there on TikTok. Ahoy there. Welcome along. Eshe is for life. What round is this? Round 23. Indigenous round. As Cleary kicks early from inside the 30, catching the Knights napping. But Gagai, who's doing a commendable job at fullback, brings the ball back to the 30-metre line here for the Knights. So 10 points to 0, nice and early in this one. Still 8 minutes gone. The Panthers completing at 100%. They have started like a house on fire. Doing extremely well for themselves. Of course, coming up after this, later tonight, we've got the Raiders taking on the Sea Eagles. Have the Canberra Raiders begun to fade? They're not called the Faders for no reason. Is it going to be the typical Raiders faders of old? Or can they get back on track this evening in their match against Manly? Set restart here for the Knights on halfway. They have an opportunity here to hit back 40 metres out from the line now on play 1. Low play the ball. Cogger shifts down the left side for the returning Bradman Best. Best tackled 30 metres out. Play 3. Cogger straight up the middle. Takes on Liam Martin. That's a mistake. From dummy half now, Brayley gives it on the short ball to McEwen. Inside the 10 they go. 5th and last. Cogger Dummies out the back, puts the grubber in behind the line to a perfectly placed Dylan Edwards. And Dylan Edwards returns it outside the 10 for the Panthers. Reece Walsh, take notes on fullback positional play. The knee crumbler, ahoy mate. Blake, ahoy. Jarius Henry, ahoy mate. To be honest, Brian To'o been dry on scoring tries lately. Yes, well, they shifted him, didn't they? I might be mistaken about this, but I think to accommodate Tom Jenkins, they shifted Brian To'o, who, of course, can play on either edge. I might be wrong about that, but I seem to always remember Brian To'o playing on, for whatever reason, I remember him playing on the opposite side. As we've got a penalty here to the Panthers from the kick. Nathan Cleary has been cleaned up by Jermaine McEwen. The home crowd doesn't like it, but you can't make contact with the kicker. It's as simple as that. The real thing, ahoy mate, B-man, ahoy. Mr. Ed's dead, ahoy mate. Panthers fine touch, 10 metres out. They could have more points here. This is going to be a massacre, isn't it? Although we saw a massacre in the first half last week, and look what the Titans did when the Panthers completely dropped off and also lost a couple of players to injury and HIA. A metre out from the line, Papali'i, slow play the ball. Kenny fires it out to the right for Cleary. Inside ball for Tungo. Back in field for Edwards. Heads across field, forces the pass, and the Knights come away with it. Well, there's a mistake from Dylan Edwards. You don't normally see that. The Knee Crumbler, thank you so much there for the 5 gift channel memberships over there on YouTube. Congratulations, Mitchell Vela Sport, Rod McGrath, Lee Bowden, and John Michael for receiving those gift memberships. Up to the 40-metre line, Saifidi carries. The Knights let off the hook there with the Panthers' first mistake of the game so far. Kick goes down to Edwards. Edwards takes it on the 20, looks up, heads back into midfield. So, 28 and a half minutes to go in this opening 40. Panthers up 10-0. Nice and early. Youngie, ahoy mates. Who's my pick for the Dally M? Also, can you see the Cowboys sacking the coach? I can absolutely see the Cowboys sacking the coach as the Panthers go the early shift again to the left. Jenkins in open space, kicks back in field, but it's a little too heavy and it bounces its way over the dead ball line. 7 tackle set. Knee Crumbler. 5 gift channel memberships. What a legend. Sharing the wealth. That's what it's all about. You love to see it. So the Knights with a couple of let-offs here. The first one, a knock-on. Well, not a knock-on. It was a pushed pass by Dylan Edwards. And the second time there, a 7 tackle set incoming as Jenkins overcooks the kick. Knee Crumbler, you just sold your Tyne home. You're cashed up. Oh, it's very nice of you to share the love, Knee Crumbler. 5th and last here for the Knights, 30 out from the line. They go the high ball, and it's a good kick chase. Edwards lets Young tap it back. Cogger gets the second kick in, but it's cleaned up by Jenkins, half a metre out from his own line, and he returns it back to the 10. Beautiful job there by Jenkins. Captain Morgan's B-man. Joe Peters loves the Milky Jenkins. Hell yeah. What a player Jenkins has proved to be, right? He's not even supposed to be in the team, per se. He's not meant to be the starting winger. As Cleary kicks early again from inside the 40. He really wants a 40-20 tonight, Nathan Cleary. This one is played at by Gagai, and it's off his foot into touch. He did a great job to try and save it, Gags. Cleary has been trying pretty much every set of 6 to get his 40-20. And he finally gets it. Gagai's done extremely well to track across here. And he tries to fling it back in field. But as he was flying through the air, he's just thrown it back into his own foot. And into touch it goes. Angelo, ahoy there, mate. Who do I reckon will win between Manly and the Raiders? And who will win by how much? I have gone either team, because I can't split them. I've gone either team by 1-12. It's a little bit of a safe on-the-fence bet, but I can't split these two teams as Edwards dummies takes the line on. And Dill, half a metre out on play 3. Cleary to Leota, turns and gives it back to Smith. Papali'i turns in midfield. They love to turn their backs into the defence 10 metres out. Try and set up that offload. Cleary with the no-looker to Garner. Out the back it goes for Blaze Tulungi. On to McLean, 5th and last now. Tulungi goes from dummy half and he's tackled half a metre out. He thought he was going to get the 6 again and catch them napping. But a handover there for the Knights. Ahoy there. Muhammad. Welcome along. UFC says Raiders 11-20 is where the money's at. Yes, it certainly is. It is where the money's at, but I can't fathom it. I just cannot fathom it. The way that the Raiders played last week against the Dragons, I can't understand why Manly are just ridiculous. Manly straight, $2.76 they were last time I looked. That's just ridiculous odds. Crazy odds. I would have thought it would be a lot closer than that. The Knights pinned down inside their own 40 on the 5th and last. Get the kick away. Edwards to return it. Mitchell Vella Sport asked what my thought was on what happened last week, the game against the Panthers and the Gold Coast. Well, Mitchell Vella Sport, now that you're a channel member, the old Panther and I actually did a video. If you go to the Wasted Water Sports homepage, there's a members-only videos playlist up the very top on the YouTube homepage. And we did a members-only live stream where we dissected that incident from every angle. So do feel free to check that out now that you're a channel member. Manuel Venson, ahoy! Cleary on the 5th and last from 30 out. Dinks it in over the top. Contestable ball again. But Dane Gagai does extremely well in the face of the kick chasers. Slow play the ball. There's a little bit of a contest here about where the mark is. The Knights played inside their own 10. Am I a Bulldogs supporter? No, I go for the Sharks, I'm afraid. There's not been a lot of joy in being a Sharks supporter outside 2016. But once you find your team, you stay loyal to them, don't you? So a Sharks supporter I shall continue to be. The Knights with a nice cutout pass here for Fletcher Hunt. Taken on their own 30. Back it goes for the clearing kick. Cogger thumps it upfield. Cogger, now this is an interesting one. Here's a little bit of a scoop. Jack Cogger is likely returning to the Panthers next year. So he might feel the need to put on a big performance here. He used to be a Panther, of course, won a premiership with the Panthers, then he headed off. But it looks like he's on his way back as Blaze Tulungi dances in midfield up to the Knights 40. Halfway through this set now, the Panthers. Cleary. Late pass out the back for Edwards. On it goes for McLean. And Casey McLean taken down 30 metres out. 2 tackles left. Edwards at first receiver. Gets it across to Cleary. And he's taken on the 5th and last. So who's going to do the kicking? It'll be young Blaze Tulungi. Puts this one high. That's a hell of a kick. Pressure here on Marju. Marju takes it a metre out from his own try line with Brian To'o charging down on him. That is a great take from Greg Marju, especially considering he's already bobbled one and lost it earlier, which led directly to a Panthers try, I do believe. Yeah, guy heads across field and an early shift creates some space out on the right. But the Panthers slide across and shut that down. Arthur in midfield. Tries to sell the dummy and he's wrapped up. Charging onto the ball there. The number 16, Tyson. Oh, no, that's the number 10, sorry, Leo Thompson. Fifth and last. Knights on halfway. A high looping bomb. Edwards runs forward to claim it. And this is good field position now for the Panthers. Jarius Henry says, how's To'o playing? Pretty quiet. I mean, they haven't really been attacking on To'o's edge over there on the right. Most of their attack has been spreading to the left. But he's been chasing well on the kicks, making his tackles, doing all that's been asked of him so far. As Talangi puts on the goose step, takes it inside the Knights 30. I tell you what, all the field position has been with the Panthers here, down the Knights' end. Martin from a standing start, wrapped up and put down on the fifth and last. Well, they don't put him down. He stands defiantly. Short side, they're going to have a run here, but Tungo now puts the grubber kick in, and Bradman Best cleans it up at the back, brings it out to the 10-metre line. But again, the Knights stuck in quicksand. They need a penalty. A nice penalty to piggyback them upfield. They've spent most of this half down there. Dominic Young with the fend. He gets that big left arm out, Dom Young. And it's hard to make any tackles when that's in your face. Tackle 4, but the Knights still in quicksand. Inside their own 30, Thompson onto Crossland. Short ball for Saifidi, fifth and last. They made about 20 metres, 28 metres. That's set. Back to Arthur to clear. That's a good kick by Jake Arthur, but he picks out Milky Jenkins. Jenkins just meanders back up to the 30. And the Panthers reload. So, Panthers, they were up 10 points to 0, in the opening 8 minutes. As Brian To'o goes on another run and gets a quick play the ball. Tungo catches the markers napping. He's up over halfway. Tungo taken down inside the 40. Halfway through this set, here come the Panthers again. Edwards on to Smith. Goes out the back for Talangi. McLean looks to bat it on, but he's lost it. It wasn't a clean pass. And as I was about to say just before, and now this leads straight back into that point, the Panthers got off to that red-hot start. They were up 10-0 after the first 8 minutes or so. They really haven't been able to... They haven't been able to ice any of their opportunities since then. They've created plenty. So testament perhaps to the Knights' defense. Stepping up, improving. Or the Panthers have just simply gone off the boil. Time will tell which one it is. We saw the Panthers struggle in the second half last weekend, didn't we? Speaking of which, channel members on YouTube, yes, if you go to the Waste of World of Sports homepage on YouTube, there is a video there dissecting, members only video dissecting that incident last week. The old Panther and myself ended up going for about an hour and 15 minutes. Not talking exclusively about that, by the way. We talked about other stuff as well throughout the course of the members-only podcast. Arthur takes the line on, gets the pass around the back to Pierce Paul, and Pierce Paul can't hold on. Dylan Edwards runs away on the 0 tackle. And the Knights, well, they were finally down this end of the field, and they've come up with a mistake. Tackle 1 for the Panthers. Almost up to halfway. Here's Tungo again. Looking dangerous. Adam O'Brien looks like he's ready to leave the room. Can't blame him. Hasn't been a quality start here for his team. Papali'i tries to spin out of the first tackle. DJ Shaq, ahoy mates. Abigail, sucker. Go Panthers. Edward Nime says go Panthers. As Smith keeps it alive to Talangi. Poor pass there for Casey McLean. Has to track back and get it. 10 metres out from the line, fifth and last. Cleary grubbers in towards the post, gets that nice little angle on it, but it sits up for Cogger in the in goal, and he dives back into the field of play. Beautiful work by Jack Cogger, returning to the Panthers next year. They'll like to see that level of commitment from him, as Marju with another strong carry. Dominic Young now carries it outside the 20 metres line. Great work by Cogger, because that would have been a goal line restart. He has just burrowed under Lindsay Smith, I believe it was there, and Dylan Edwards. But again, the Knights, fifth and last, inside their own half. They just cannot get down the other end. As Arthur kicks from his own side of halfway, Jenkins is under it. And Milky Jenkins brings it back down the short side. Puts a big fend on Fletcher Hunt. A monstrous, don't argue. McLean up to the 40. The Panthers dominating possession and territory. But only 10 points to 0. You would think with all the time they've spent down that end of the field that they might be up by a bit more than 10-0. Edwards goes out the back to Cleary. Holds the pass up nicely for Tungo. Taps it on to To'o. To'o one-on-one with Best. Bradman Best brings him down. 2 tackles left. Panthers inside the 20. Cleary heads back to the middle. Offloads to Sorensen. Sorensen flicks it out the back. It's loose on the deck in the in goal. And the Panthers have dived on it. Liam Henry gets the try. It was scrappy, but they get there in the end. Off the back of the break from Brian To'o, they had the front foot ball, and it couldn't be closed up. To'o straight back to his feet for a quick play of the ball. Gave Nathan Cleary acres of space to work with. The inside ball for Sorensen opened them up. He lays it back, and Liam Henry scoops it up over the try line and scores. Penrith up 14-0. What a take. Liam Henry. 14-0 kick to come. What an odd mix of try scorers it's been. The Panthers, 14 points to 0. We've seen Luke Garner, Lindsay Smith, and now Liam Henry. Not a single try as yet through the backs. Stay hunky, ahoy, mate. How are you? Jeez, imagine what a same-game multi would have paid out. Garner, Smith, and Henry. That would have been a massive payout. Cleary from right beside the post. I told you, he's not going to miss another one all night after he missed that first one. Puts it down the middle. Panthers are up 16-0 with 13 minutes to go until the halftime break. And we were asked earlier how Brian To'o's going. I said he hasn't really had much opportunity. That's the first one that he's really had. And it was a great break down the right edge. And it set the Panthers up for the ensuing play. Set them up nicely. Three L's. Yes, the 3 L's have got the try scorers. Whoops. Luke, Lindsay, and Liam. Sounds like a really, really poor 90s sitcom. Luke, Lindsay, and Liam. It'd be a sitcom about like 3 down on their luck brothers trying to make it in this crazy world. Panthers back in possession. Dylan Egan, ahoy, mates. Recently up 5K. Oh, very nice. After winning a multi. Fantastic. Panthers up beyond halfway again. Talangi throws the dummy. 40 metres out from the line now. Fifth and last, Cleary. Puts it high for To'o's edge, but it's not going to be contestable. Marju plants himself under it. Gets the offload away for Best. To'o slips around the legs of Best. Still brings him down. And again, the Knights inside their own 20. Youngie wants to know where I reckon Ponga is going. Kalen Ponga would have to be a target for this new Rugby 360, you would think. As the Knights lose the ball, Dane Gagai spills it in the play the ball. And the Panthers will get another big opportunity here. "11 minutes to go. In the opening half, that is. Matt Croker's gone on report. I wonder what that was for. I didn't notice anything. No rain, Emmanuel Vincent, but it does seem like it's a slippery surface. From what I can best tell on television, there does seem to be some surface dew, but that's about it. No rain. Talangi takes the line on. 10.5 to go in this opening 40. 10 metres out from the line. Kenny to the right. Cleary steps back in field. Liam Henry wants a double, huh? Share it around, boys. And here they go. Left again. Numbers. But it's a poor pass out to Jenkins. Jenkins has to stop to collect the ball. And another loose pass back out into midfield here to Sorensen. Sorensen from a standing start. Fifth and last for the Panthers. It hasn't really been a crisp set of 6. Cleary with the grubber in behind. Gagai scoops it up. Isn't it amazing that Dane Gagai, a fill-in fullback, has played fullback before, of course, but essentially he's just filling in at the moment, has better positional play than Reece Walsh. Emmanuel Vincent says, I heard tomorrow for the Warriors and the Dogs, it's going to be a wet one. Here's hoping. Yeah, the Dogs have proven to not be able to play in wet weather football. Multiple times we've seen the Dogs absolutely tank it. As the Knights go on a shift out to the right, Gagai's up in the line. Taken down on their 40. Arthur now from dummy half puts the kick in straight down the throat of Edwards at the back. Edwards returns it. First meeting, ahoy mate. Jenkins, again, that tactic of backing into the defense. 6 again for the Panthers as McLean takes it up over halfway. 9 minutes to go in this opening half, and they're on the march again here. Penrith through Liam Henry, one of the try scorers, and another set restart. Oh, this is building nicely for the Panthers. More points before the halftime break feel like it's inevitable. As Sorensen straightens the attack back into midfield. 30 metres out from the line. Here's Smith onto Cleary. Down the right edge they go. Edwards takes the line on, not going through the hands. Cleary onto Smith again. Short ball for Sorensen. They're 10 metres out now on play 4. Cleary. Short ball there to Gunner. Flick pass back for Cleary. Half a metre out. Fifth and last. Talangi will take over the kicking. Goes wide looking for To'o. To'o versus Marshu. To'o bats it back, but Bradman Best is there. Knights have it, but again, they're starting a metre out from their own try line. They have spent pretty much the entirety of this half down their own end of the field. This has been a complete lesson in controlling the territory and the flow of the game here from the Panthers. The Knights just haven't had an opportunity. 7 minutes remaining in the half. Can they get something out of it? We got time off. Somebody's got blood, I think. How did that happen? Clint Robinson, ahoy, mate. Seb Watson, ahoy. Oh, Phoenix Crossland has been called off for a HIA. He was a little bit wobbly earlier. We saw him in back plate. And Crossland, the independent doctor, one will assume, has stepped in here, called him off the field. So the Knights on the fifth and last. Phoenix Crossland off for HIA as Arthur slips as he makes contact with this one. Jenkins steps away from the kick chase. Oh, he's good. Milky Jenkins has been the revelation of the season. Casey McLean up outside the 40. 45 tackles in the opposition half for the Panthers compared to 10 by the Newcastle Knights. They just can't get down that end of the field. Tackle 4 for the Panthers. 40 out from the Knights line again. Cleary, dummies, opens them up, but he's taken down on the 30. Quick play the ball, fifth and last. Talungi kicks down the short side again, looking for To'o. The Knights retreating backwards. Best loses it over the dead ball line. And a goal line dropout inbound. NRL fan 25. You thought Brian To'o got a try? No, it's been all forwards. The tries so far for the Panthers. All forwards. Luke Garner, Lindsay Smith, and Liam Henry. All forwards. You can't believe it. As the Knights go short with the restart, it doesn't find the 10. And it bounces back into the end goal. A handover for the Panthers here. With 5.5 minutes remaining in this opening spell. Do I think the Knights have the smallest chance in the second half? Well, yes, we saw it last week, didn't we? The Titans did mount a fight back. So, of course, it's possible. A metre out from the line here. The Panthers play it. Kenny fires it off to the right for Smith. On to Cleary. Inside ball for Edwards. Gets the fend on, but then slips in back play. Tackle 3. Slow play the ball. Cleary steps off the left. We've seen that many, many times before. 2 tackles left. Talungi. Grubbers in behind the line. It's off the face of one of the Knights. Played at is the call. And that'll be 6 more tackles. Well done, Blaze Talungi. I don't know how you play at the ball off your face, but that is the call. That's the call from the referee out there. And the Panthers, surely they break through any moment. Tungo in midfield, bumps off one. Gets it back for To'o. The goose step from a standing start. And Brian To'o's half a metre out here. Play 3. Kenny fires it out to Cleary. Has to switch direction. Back in front of the post for Lindsay Smith, who just settles things down here on play 4. 5 metres out, they go right. Cleary steps back infield, steps back out, spins, offloads back for Kenny. Sorensen's got it now. Sorensen just to the left of the posts will take tackle 5. Fifth and last it is. Smith, the double pump out the back to Cleary. Pops it out for Edwards. Edwards can't get the ball out to To'o, and they get another set restart here, the Panthers. Martin off the second phase ball. Liam Martin. Oh, that's all we need. Liam Martin to score. Continue the L's. Set restart again for the Panthers. So that's tackle 1. The Knights, they're barely holding on here. Talungi, dummies, steps off the left. Gets the late pass out for Casey McLean. 6 more again for the Panthers. Kenny fires it open side for Cleary. Holds the pass up. And Sorensen goes close. Kenny again fires it out to Cleary. Cut out pass to Edwards. They've got a 3-on-2. To'o's in space. Dives for the corner. And Brian To'o will score. They finally get them. With 2.5 minutes to go. They've finally cracked them. 20 points to nil, kick to come. They had to work for it. The Knights were racing up in defense a little too quick most of the time. There were about 4 set restarts for inside the 10 in that passage of play. And then a simple 3-on-2, draw and pass. Edwards to Tungo to To'o, try. It's out wide. It's right on the sideline on that right edge, but I'm backing Nathan Cleary in here. Dylan Egan, yes, I'm watching on KO. Slick hands there for the Panthers backline. And this will make it very, very hard now for the Knights. Last weekend, we had about 4 of the games, I think 4 or 5 of the games. We got 3 out of 4 legs of the multis ticked off. Last night, we got 1. It was Ryan Pappenhausen. We've started this game going into halftime with 0 ticks off the multi. I think it's going to be a tough old weekend in same-game multi-land. NRL fan 25, do I stream Major League Baseball? No, I don't, but I certainly watch it. There's Nathan Cleary. I'm backing him in here from the right touchline. Going through his motion, Cleary to make it 22 points to nil. How's he going to go? Strikes it off to the left, and it hangs out there. Doesn't get the hook on it. 20 points to nil, it stays. One minute, 10 seconds left in this opening half that has been all Penrith. Dominating territory and field position. Looking very, very good here. Back underway. This will be the last set of 6. Henry, you had To'o to score first, second, or third. Oh, so he goes and scores 4th. Oh, it's painful, isn't it? Why do we do it to ourselves? Well, I know why, because it's fun. But it adds an extra little bit of spice to the games. So I know why we do it. It was a rhetorical question. But why do we do it to ourselves? It can be oh so painful. Panthers on halfway on tackle 3. Cleary holds the pass up out the back for Edwards. Puts Liam Martin through a big gap. 30 out from the line now. Martin steps off the right. And he's taken down inside the 10. Quick play, the ball needed. Kenny to Cleary. Needs to go out the back here, but they've gone short to Sorensen on the 5th and last. Crash ball for Smith. No looker out the back. Scooped up by Talangi. It sets up for Talangi again. Gets it to Mitch Kenny. Harbour Bridge over the top to Milky Jenkins. And Jenkins, as it stands at the moment, puts it down for the try. And a tick off our multi at last. Maybe. The halftime siren sounds. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see if this stands. At the moment, it's a try off the back of that break. Oh, Liam Martin got put into a huge hole. Lindsay Smith with the no-looker. Play on. Talangi to Kenny. Spotted Jenkins on his own out there on the left. And a try coming up here for the Panthers. It was batted back by Dominic Young. And Kenny just draws in Fletcher Hunt. Try confirmed. Milky Jenkins. 24 points to nil. Jenkins gets our first tick. Well, at least we're not going into halftime with none. Well, 24 points to nil is a very familiar scoreline at halftime, isn't it? Very familiar. Nathan Cleary, 50% success rate tonight. Lines this one up. He's over on his favourite side this time. Can he come up with the correction? Puts this one on target. Right down the middle from the sideline. And the Panthers are up 26 points to nil. At halftime. Wasted World of Sports. 26-0 at the halftime break in favour of the Panthers. Now, for those new channel members on YouTube, I'm going to pop off for a quick break for halftime, and we'll be back to dissect all that action. But in the meantime, if you would like to, new channel members, check out the Wasted World of Sports homepage on YouTube, and you can see as we dissect the incident from last week, the Penrith trainer incident, the old Panther and I. You can find it at the very top of the page in members-only videos. So do feel free to head over there now and check that out while I have a quick break. And be right back here to dissect the first half, and we'll take a look at what the second half might bring momentarily. All right, all sorted. Back shortly.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pants less. From the kickoff to the final whistles blow, we'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a road, from sideline jokes to post-match tales, all the big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.
Yes, welcome back. Wasted World of Sports. 26 points to nil at halftime. The Panthers over the Newcastle Knights. Chris Bradley, you watched it last night, presumably talking about the podcast. Cheers for that, mate. Very much appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We're going to do that a fair bit more often moving forward. Guaranteed. It was a good lot of fun. I always love cracking out the telestrator. It's just hard sometimes. Like, obviously, you can't do it live. Well, you could, but I mean, it'd be I would need to be able to do that an in-studio producer. We would need somebody in studio constantly around, ready to flick all the buttons and load up all the videos and that, because it would be a bit too much for me to do on my own all at once. Yeah, so, but we'll see. I mean, it might be something that we get going in the future. I love using the telestrator. The old Panther is with Chris. The Panthers have to stay awake in the second half. Yes, well, as we discussed, there were reasons for the Panthers' drop-off in the second half last weekend, revolving around player selection and HIA failures and whatnot. So unless that happens here again tonight, it's hard to see. Maria says, thanks to the Panthers from PNG. A big cheers to Papua New Guinea. Where 420, ahoy mate. John Michael, do I work in IT? Kind of. I mean, IT is a fairly large, all-encompassing sector, isn't it? And there's all kinds of different things within IT. So I work in a very, very specific area of IT. So, like, I'm not. I can't fix computers. If something goes wrong with your computer, oh, Dan from Wasted Water Sports works in IT. I'll ask him. I won't be able to help you because that's not the sort of IT that I do. It's him, says Manly will beat the Raiders. And you're a Parramatta fan. Well, first and foremost, Parramatta fans must be hell of excited to have Mitchell Moses back. And second of all, I agree. I think Manly get the win tonight. I'm on the fence about it still, though. I've not committed myself to either team. I've got either team by 1-12. I'm sitting on the fence. Daniel Silveira. Biggest multi you have ever hit. For the NRL, biggest multi I've ever hit was State of Origin Game 3, I think it was, in 2024. State of Origin Game 3, 2024. Biggest one I ever hit. 4-leg. New channel, ahoy mate. But biggest multi I've ever hit, was in Major League Baseball, where I just so happened to pick every single winner from that week's games. Every single winner, and that was a multi-$1,000 payout. Multiple thousands of dollars in that one. And trust me, that was a complete and total fluke. I certainly didn't expect half of those teams to get up. And actually, I'm sitting on a pretty good one for the NFL at the moment. Now, I don't follow the NFL at all. All I did was I went through and just picked the places that I would most like to live out of the teams competing. And I ended up with a seven-leg multi at $718.65 to the dollar. I ended up with pretty much every single outsider. And anyway, we're 3 legs in, 2 legs have hit, 1 leg got voided because it was a draw. And we'll see what tomorrow brings with the remaining 4. I don't know the first thing about NFL. All I know is I picked the teams without seeing the odds. I just picked up based on where I might like to live or visit between what I know about the 2 cities. And I ran with it because I had a $5 bonus bet that I had to use. The bonus bet was expiring, had to use it on something. The NFL was the soonest thing available, so off I went. Jason Hayden, ahoy, mate. How's everything going, TikTok? I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like we might have fixed our issues over there. I was trying absolutely everything over there on TikTok, and we kept getting done for unoriginal or reproduced content, which was just baffling because we were doing actual live streams. So we tried all kinds of things over there. We disabled the scoreboard. We disabled the try scorer multi. We disabled the green screen. As you can see, I still haven't reset that up again. We tried everything and kept getting hit. So tonight, I tried just using a second webcam. So I've got there's a slightly different angle on my webcam between YouTube and TikTok. That's the only difference now. And we're using an actual webcam rather than the virtual webcam, which was feeding all the streams. TikTok's now got its own exclusive camera, and it seems to really like that. It seems to really appreciate it. We haven't had any issues yet tonight. Fingers crossed. I hope I haven't just jinxed everything. Jason Duval, ahoy, mates. Which teams, if any, do you support in the Premier League and NBA? Well, if you're talking about the English Premier League soccer, I have not watched that since I was in high school. And when I was in high school, I didn't really know any better. I just went for Manchester United because that was the brand. That was the brand that you saw everywhere. I always took a particular liking to Newcastle United because I liked their jersey, the black and white stripes. And I can't think of the player's name. I would know it if I looked deeply into it enough. But I really liked one of the players too for Newcastle United back in the day. But I haven't seen the English Premier League for years and years and years. And I don't follow NBA. No, I haven't followed NBA since Michael Jordan was still playing. So it's been a long time. Tom Phillips says Alan Shearer. No. Okay, let's try and figure it out. Famous Newcastle United players. And I'll see if I can remember the name. This might be difficult. We might not be able to do this in time. I guess it was from, I do know the name Alan Shearer, so I'm assuming it was from that same era. What if I narrow it down to the, or actually, this probably would have been around 96, 97 when I just started high school. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. Very difficult. Jason Duval says, nice choices, Man United and Newcastle United. John Michael, do I use Logitech webcams? Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah. Zachariah said Penrith by 40 plus. Well, it could happen unless they decide at halftime they've done enough and they're just going to take it easy now for the second half. It could very well wind up being a 40 plus margin. K Lane William, ahoy mate. It's nice to be back on TikTok. I've got to say, as painful as the TikTok has been for me, it is nice to be back and see some familiar names out there. As the second half is off and running, Greg Marju winds up. Takes it into the Panthers' defense now. Will the Knights be using what happened last week with the Titans as motivation to say, look, we can do this. We can get this done. Late offload here on tackle 2. Goes back for Gagai. And Gags takes it up outside the 40. Up the middle for Frizzell. Frizzell backs up over halfway. And this is the best field position the Knights have had for a long time. Good start to the second half here. Cogger with the delayed pass for McEwen. Offloads. Liam Martin bats it back and intercepts. The best field position they've had in a long time. And they get an incomplete set. And that's been the story of their night. Story of the night. 1, 2, 3 says had Garner first try scorer only because of Jake Arthur. Yeah, you got to feel sorry for Jake Arthur. Poor bloke just can't win a trick. Fourth tackle here, a very slow set. This one for the Panthers. Sorensen takes the fifth and last, just over halfway. 26-meter gain. Back to Cleary to kick. He puts a high wobbly boot up. To'o's under it. Gets a boot to it. Now he offloads back for Tungo. Tungo gets the second kick. And it's straight. Oh, there's a penalty to the Panthers. Again, contact on Nathan Cleary after the kick. Referee was playing a long advantage there as it starts to rain. Oh, big news. Big news. It has started belting down here at McDonald Jones Stadium. The skies have opened up. It's hammering down rain. Now does that change things? Cleary goes out left to Talungi. Puts the foot down. Well tackled there by Hunt. 10 meters out from the line. From dummy half goes Cleary. Late offload for Garner. Garner heads back towards the post. Stands in the tackle. Big news here. It started hammering down. Smith at first receiver. Charges up the middle. Lindsay Smith. Half a meter out. On play 3. Cleary wants it on the right. Goes out the back for Edwards. It's well read by Best, who jams in and races up to put the fullback down. 2 tackles left. Kenny to Cleary. Crash ball is the option here for Liam Henry. Runs over the top of Salasia. Fifth and last. Kenny fires it out to the left. Wrap around for Talungi. Short ball for McLean. McLean steps off the right. Powers his way over. And Casey McLean scores. Tick number 2 off the multi. Well, never mind. Never mind about the wet weather. Never mind about the Panthers dropping off. An incomplete set from the Knights in their best field position all game so far. Or at least for a very long time. They followed it up with a penalty for late contact on Nathan Cleary. And the Panthers just go through the motions. Casey McLean steps off the left. A weak attempt at tackle by Fletcher Hunt. And that was too easy. Dan, ahoy there. These Panther young guns are starting to look very good. Yes, I was saying it at the top of the stream, Dan, that for people who don't like the Panthers, I've got a feeling you might be in for another long few seasons because the youngsters are starting to find their feet and find their form. And off the back of Cleary and Edwards and Yeo and Martin, who still have so many years left in them, I don't think the Panthers are going to stop at 4 or 5. It's actually interesting because Gus Gould said, as this rain is so heavy, the rain has just started pelting down. Gus Gould actually said quite a few years ago, he said he wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers win 6 or 7 in a row and something like 10 out of 12. They might not win them all in a row, but they might get 6 or 7 in a row and then a couple of years off and then another 3 or something. Like he just said, their setup, their system is just set up for long-term success. And all the other teams, I think, are in for many, many years of hurt. As Cleary, in the pelting rain, drives it down the middle, and the Panthers are up 32 points to 0. It just opened up randomly in the second half. And whilst the Panthers don't play well in wet weather, they've got a 32-point head start now on the Knights. So this will be very, very difficult to see any sort of comeback here. Tanner, too, says the Panthers are the Crusaders of the NRL. That's a very, very, very smooth comparison. I absolutely agree. As Liam Martin slips, Phoenix Crossland has failed his HIA. So no Phoenix Crossland for the rest of the night. 32 points to 0 and conditions getting very difficult now. 6 minutes into the second half and players are slipping and bobbling the ball everywhere. 5th and last for the Panthers, just outside their own 30. Cleary, as they tried to put kick pressure on him, this ball bounces under the legs of Gagai, and he has to run back and collect it. And he's tackled just outside his own 20. We're seeing players slipping over everywhere. Well, see, the thing is, they would have the dry weather cleats on. Got to remember that as well. They've set themselves up for this game with the dry weather cleats. And now just randomly it starts hammering down when they've already come out onto the field for the second half. Nobody would have switched to the longer cleats as Gagai tries to work a shift here for the Knights. Tackle 4, up on halfway. Here's Arthur. A late pass to Pierce Paul. 5th and last, just inside Panthers territory. Back to Arthur for the kick. Puts this one high. Hunt challenges. Edwards spills it into touch. Was it touched by Fletcher Hunt, though? Yes, it was. Knock on Fletcher Hunt. Hand over here for the Panthers. Who's my try scorers for the next game? Of course, we've got Raiders versus Manly coming up next. I have gone with Tola Cola, Xavier Savage, Jason Saab, and Kyo Weeks. 4 legs at $21.75 to the dollar. And hopefully it's not raining and we see some expansive play. I think this one's really going to tighten up. Into midfield. Eisenhuth carries it up over halfway. Panthers just grinding out the territory here. Kenny goes from dummy half. Edwards at first receiver. Takes tackle 5. Again, just controlling the field position. Control the field position, control the game. Cleary puts it high for the corner. Oh, this is a tester for Marju. He's done well, especially in these conditions. I mean, it is hammering down rain. To plant himself with the Panthers charging down on him, he takes it without even the slightest bobble. But the Knights are now pinned down. Tackle 2, 10 metres out from their own line. And the Panthers' defence is not letting up. Frizzell with a good strong carry. Stands in the two-man tackle on play 4. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Fifth and last. Croker goes to ground. Short of the 40, so they're going to need a big kick here. And we've got a penalty late in the tackle count. High contact on Matt Croker. And that is just what the Knights needed. They needed it a long time ago. But they've finally got one. Arthur finds touch just inside Panthers territory. 32 points to nil. Can they make something of this? Can't with the first hit up. 40 out from the Panthers line. This is their best chance so far. Or at least for a very long time. 30 out from the line in midfield. They go right for Arthur to kick on play 2. Arthur chases his own kick, leads the way, but the Panthers get back and bat the ball dead. Goal line dropout incoming. Jake Arthur nearly pulls off a miracle. King James, ahoy mate. Yes, we are trying the last possible thing that we've got to try out to get TikTok working again. We are trying it here tonight, and it seems to be going okay. Fingers crossed, no jinx. It seems like TikTok didn't like my virtual webcam. I was using a virtual webcam that fed all the different streams. I now have a dedicated webcam exclusively for TikTok, and they seem to be much happier about it. As the Knights now 30 out from the try line, the Panthers went kind of deep with the restart there. 6 again for a ruck infringement. Cogger holds the pass up and turning it back on the inside for Cant. 20 metres out in midfield. Knights go left for Frizzell. Out the back for Cogger. Inside for Best. Best grubbers through. Looking for the bounce for himself, but Edwards leads the chase. Grounds it in the end goal under the posts. Goal line dropout number 2 incoming. The rain seems to be getting heavier and heavier. Cleary keeps it low and flat. It's a grubber. And it sits up on the 30-metre line here for McEwen, who gets away from one, bumps away from a second. And McEwen takes tackle 1, 30 metres out from the line here, the Knights. Back into midfield for Croker. Beats the first tackle. Stands in the other 2 that come after him. Cogger to the line. Out the back now for Arthur. Late pass for Gagai. Well read by Jenkins, who jams in and shuts that play down. Halfway through this set, the Knights from dummy half, Brayley carries it inside the 10. Gagai slots into dummy half. Here's Cant onto Cogger, who bobbles the ball. Panthers have time then to chase up on him. And that's the 5th and last, still 10 metres out. Brayley from dummy half. Grubbers in behind the line. It sets up, and it's planted down by Matt Croker. The Knights are on the board. Oh, it's gone up as no try. Referee has sent this up as no try. It looked live like Matt Croker won the chase to this ball. They've been peppering the Panthers with these kicks in behind. Croker gets the big mitts out, reaches out. Oh, Mitch Kenny over the top. Croker's hand is there underneath, surely. Who gets the hand down first? This could be simultaneous. What happens simultaneous? Simultaneous grounding it is. So that would go benefit of the doubt to the attacking team, right? Simultaneous grounding, try stands. Matt Croker puts the Knights on the board. And from right in front, should be a simple conversion, this one. Cogger puts it over. $32-6. The comeback is on. Blair 420 says, what should I get for dinner? King James says KFC. Nice to see that the advertising's working. .27.5 minutes to play in these treacherous conditions. Is that the start of the comeback? Have the Knights found the formula here? Get down the other end, kick in behind the line. Very difficult in wet weather to turn and chase a footy. You've got a big advantage when you're starting on the front foot. Rugby League history says Newcastle are in danger of getting the wooden spoon now, especially if results this week and next week go against them, with the other sides near the bottom. Plus, they're for and against, taking a big hit. David Clarkson, ahoy, mate. Yes, the wooden spoon's going to be very interesting this year. The wooden spoon is going to be more interesting, I think, than the minor premiership that the Storm will end up winning comfortably. Will it be the Titans? Will it be the Bunnies for Wayne Bennett's first ever wooden spoon? Will it be the Knights who have decided to run here on the fifth and last? Brayley's offside, has to retreat from the kick chase. So it's an easy take at the back for Milky Jenkins. Panthers back in possession. Louis, ahoy, mate. What have I got for the next game? Of course, we've got Raiders versus Manly coming up next. I've gone either team 1-12 because I can't split them. I can't pick a winner. Jason, ahoy, mate. I can't pick a winner in that one, so I've played it safe. Either team 1-12. And I've gone 4 legs, try scorer multi, KO Weeks, Kohler, Saab, and Savage. Panthers kick downfield for Gagai. Gagai dummies. Surrenders in the tackle of Liam Martin and Isaac Tungo. 30 out from his own line, or just shy of it. 4K, ahoy there, mate. Watching this one on KO Sports. But we will be flicking over to Channel 9 for the next one. Raiders versus Manly. Down the short side, Brayley to Cogger. The short ball is spilt by McEwen. Well, play on as he toes it through again, and dives on it. Jermaine McEwen has dived on the ball. It's going to go up as no try again, but the referee just let that one play out. Cogger, I believe it was, took the line on halfway. A short ball off the hip to McEwen. Looked like it was knocked on. Panthers players just stopped paying attention as McEwen grubbers it through, toes it through all the way from halfway to the goal line, dives on it to score, but gone up as no try, and it was a pretty blatant knock on. I don't even understand why it was allowed to play through. But still, I suppose in that situation, you'd rather see it just play on and let the referee play advantage and take care of it at the end. I understand I sound like I'm complaining, but I'm happy enough for that one to have played out the way that it did. Scrum down here for the Panthers in the mud pit that's formed on halfway. This is old school, this. Talking about rugby league history, how old school is this? The big 50-metre line mud pit. The drainage systems at grounds these days, you don't normally see this like you did back in the old days. Even a little bit of rain, you would have had that. Panthers, though, back on the attack, leading 32-6, looking pretty comfortable, it must be said. Johnny Mann says Dylan to score. I hope so. Hope so. Here's Cleary. Inside ball for Martin. Takes it up the middle to the 20-metre line. Loses the ball, and the Knights come away with it. Gagai driven back in the tackle, but it will be a 0 tackle. Hunt Bumps off the first tackle, taken down just short of the 30. Dominic Young hasn't really been heavily involved tonight. Big Dom Young. Tackled over on the right edge, just shy of the 40. Back in field comes Hunt for his second carry. He was taken down easy. Brazil goes out the back for Cogger. Gagai up in the line. The double pump for Best. Best burst straight through. Up over halfway. Inside ball to the support runner of McEwen. And Jermaine McEwen was disallowed moments earlier. This time he scores under the sticks. And the Knights, well, here they come. The Panthers have gone to sleep again. And here come the Knights. 32-10. Kick to come from in front. 23 minutes still left to play. Isaac Tungo there caught in two minds, forcing To'o to jam in. And Bradman Best just goes straight through a weak shoulder. And he had support runners everywhere. Still 23 minutes left to play. How are we feeling, Knights fans? Is it possible? Is it possible? Jack Cogger from right beside the post pops it over 32 points to 12. 20 points the difference. 3 converted tries. 3 converted tries and they're in striking distance. John Michaels asking who my internet provider is. Aussie Broadband. Aussie Broadband, and if one wants to use my code to join up to Aussie Broadband, we both get a little bit of a saving. So if anyone decides to sign up, do let me know. I'll share the join code somewhere. 32 points to 12. 22 minutes left. Panthers get us back underway. And from the kickoff, Greg Marju, he doesn't need a big support running prop. He's going to run it from the back fence himself. Siafidi, Jacob. Just short of the 30. The try scorer, McEwen. He's been solid. Play 3 here for the Knights. Into midfield for Arthur. Dummies. Gets the arms free. Had no support runners with him. Jake Arthur has just started to come into this game as well. Brazil up the middle. Taken down on the 5th and last. Still inside their own half here, the Knights. Arthur gets the kick away. Edwards takes it on the full. 10 out from his own line. Returns it beyond the 20. Sets up Milky Jenkins. And Jenkins carries to the 30 for play 1. Aussie Broadband is fantastic. Yes, the greatest internet service provider that I've ever had. Ever had. As the Panthers carry outside the 40. Halfway through the set, Kenny from dummy half has Talangi running with him. Steps off the left boot and into Knights territory on play 4. Papali'i to the 40. 5th and last. Cleary wants it on this short side. Puts it high to Marju's corner. It's not going to make Marju, though. The Knights stand back, and it's been knocked on by Liam Martin. The Knights drop back, let the Panthers take it, and Liam Martin bobbles it. The Knights ball on their own 20. John Michael, I think there's 3 different levels that you can get in terms of speed. I've got the top one. I've got the top tier. Faster than 100 megabits per second. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm on a gigabit connection. Yeah. Yeah, I've gone all out. As Gagai spills the ball, Liam Martin scoops it up. He's up over halfway. Support from To'o. To'o has to step back in field. Breaks away from 2 tackles. Breaks away from a third. And finally brought to ground, 15 out in midfield. Tungo goes left where the Panthers have got a 72 on 1 overlap. Talangi decides to kick and he kicks it straight to Dominic Young, but they'll get the penalty for the offside. The Knights are offside and that has saved some embarrassment for Blaze Talangi. A 76 on 1 overlap to the left. He decides to go the kick. Panthers get the penalty and saves him some blushes. They tap and go. Panthers, Papali'i in midfield. Backs into the defense. Play 1. Staying to the right side here. Eisenhuth turns it inside for Leota. Leota with a strong carry. Stands in the 3-man tackle. A couple of meters out. Cleary heads across field. Drops it inside for McLean. McLean dances around in front of the sticks. And he's taken down on play 3. Right in midfield. Kenny breaks away. They're up quickly on Cleary. Can't get the kick away as Jacob Saifidi wraps him up. On play 4, 5 meters out. Kenny goes back into midfield for Leota to just run the settler. Here on the 5th and last, a meter out, right in midfield. Cleary's over on the right. That's where they go. Grubber's in behind the line. Leading the chase is Isaac Tungo. Dives on the ball. And it's going to go up as no try. It's going up as no try. Tungo clearly wins the race to the ball here. But does he ground it? Although Gagai gets the reach on him. Gagai does actually get the reach on him. Do we have another simultaneous grounding here? We might have another case of simultaneous grounding. As we play through, Gagai is just slightly ahead. Just gets the hand underneath. Dang, Gagai. What a try saver from Gags. So this will stay as no try, but a goal line dropout for the Knights. And John Michael, that is absolutely correct. Yes, I get around about 800 or 900. 800 in peak hour, 900 or so in off-peak times. And 100 megabyte upload. 100 megabit, sorry. 100 megabit upload, which usually peaks at around 79 or 80. So yes, you are spot on, my friend, with those calculations. Panthers, 10 meters out. Cleary to Eisenhuth. Angling back in towards the posts. Kenny to Papali'i. Papali'i burrows under the sticks through 3 weak attempts at tackle. And Isaiah Papali'i gets another one for the forward pack. 36 points to 12. The Panthers have only got 2 tries through the backs. To'o and Jenkins. And it is another. It's only Liam Martin's the only prop second rower or lock who hasn't scored yet for the Panthers. Papali'i steps through Gagai. And a really poor attempt at cover tackle there by 2 Knights. 36-12, kick to come from right in front. Oh, well, mate, John Michael, if you ever decide to switch on over to Aussie Broadband, if you ever make the decision to switch over to Aussie Broadband, do feel free to send me an email, wastedworldofsports@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with a join code if you like, and it saves us both a little bit of money. I get a bonus for sharing the join code. You get a bonus for using the join code, should you decide to go down that avenue. The Knights go short with the restart, and they claim it. So they go straight on the attack here. Frizzell to Cogger. Pops it up to McEwen, who's been solid tonight. 30 out from the line on play 3. Down the short side, Cogger turns it inside for Best. Best from a standing start. Surrenders in play 4. Cogger with the cutout pass to Frizzell. Nice short ball there to Thompson. Thompson spills it. It's gone backwards, though, says the referee. And it's still there for the Knights. As a matter of fact, it's a set restart. Saifidi carries forward. 10 metres out in midfield. The Knights go right. Brayley to Cogger. On to, oh, God, Arthur throws the cutout pass into touch. Jake Arthur with the 3-man cutout pass over the sideline. He picked out the touch judge. Really poor there from Jakey Arthur. Panthers gifted possession. A referral code. Yes, that's the word I was looking for, John Michael. Referral code. Raiders versus Manly coming up after this one. As the Panthers seem quite comfortable now. 15 minutes to play, and they get a penalty inside the 10 metres. Inside the 10. Cleary puts it into touch right on halfway. So, yes, we will be back for Raiders versus Manly immediately following this game. So do feel free to stick around. I mean, we'll start a new stream, so do feel free to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and follow on TikTok so that you know when we go live for the next game. Stick around and have a chat and have some brews and watch the footy. As the Panthers looking for more points. Edwards with the short ball for Papali'i. 10 metres out again here, the Panthers. 2 tackles left. Schneider goes left for Cleary to Grubber in behind the line. Casey McLean wins the race to the ball, but does he ground it? He's claiming it, but we know that they can tell some porky pies. It's going up as a try. Casey McLean gets a double, potentially. Let's see if his nose is starting to grow as he claims this try. I don't know. I think he might be telling porky pies here. We're going to have a closer look at this replay. He definitely wins the race to the ball, but does he even get a hand on it? Gagai tries to knock it away. Porky pies. Casey. Naughty boy. Gagai gets there, bats the ball, gets enough contact on it that knocks it away from McLean. I cannot say that this was grounded. Yeah. Try confirmed. Oh, well, it's a lottery, isn't it? It's a lottery with the bunker. I struggle to say that there was downward pressure on that. But anyway, I don't think it's going to matter all that much. In terms of the results, I would have a hard case arguing that that was downward pressure, personally. I don't know. What does everyone else think? Anyone who saw that, I mean, that can't possibly be setting the precedent for downward pressure, can it? But anyway, 42 points to 12. Kick to come. Nathan Cleary from about 15 metres to the left of posts. Strikes it well, but it arches away. It doesn't hook in. It arches away, and it remains 42 points to 12. Interesting call from the bunker, that one. Casey McLean was claiming it. He seemed pretty convinced. And that cheeky smile as he said that cheeky smile as he heads back to position. That says it all, doesn't it? He's like, yep, we got that one. Knights go short again. Cleary runs across to collect the ball. Nathan Cleary, he's everywhere. Panthers in possession, just short of the 40-metre line. As the ground has turned into a swimming pool. So the Panthers, off the back of this, will temporarily at least move into the top 4. 8 or 9 weeks ago, they were on the bottom of the table. Smack bang on the bottom of the table. Maybe 10 weeks ago. But they were, before they went on their run of victories, cemented to the bottom of the table. They are now in the top 4. Edwards heads across field. Tackled 40 metres out from the Knights line, 5th and last. 11 weeks ago, there we go. 11 weeks ago, they were on the bottom of the table. They go on a run of victories, and they're now in the top 4. You can't believe it. Dangerous Dan, ahoy, mates. Knights back in possession. Still 10 minutes to play in this one. Crazy to think. There's still a lot of time left. We've got the Raiders versus Manly coming up after this. Hopefully that's a good game. I'm expecting it to be. I actually legitimately can't split those two teams. I think it's going to be 1-12 either way. As Cleary jams in on Cogger, misses the tackle. Slowed him down enough for Leota to clean up. 5th and last. Arthur with the kick. Straight down the throat of Milky Jenkins. And Jenkins heads back towards the 40 in midfield. Oh, he's so good. Thomas Jenkins. Plays it just short of halfway. To'o down the short side. One-on-one with Bradman Best. Best now gets some support there from McEwen. Tungo up inside the 40. Tommy, ahoy there, mate. Over on TikTok. Cleary shuffles it on to Papali'i. 9.5 to play. 2 tackles left here for the Panthers. Cleary in midfield. Steps, gives it to Edwards. Cut out pass now to the left for McLean. Stepping back in field. Standing out wide there is Garner. 5th and last, Cleary. A little chip in over the top. Contestable ball lost forward by the Knights. Edwards can't collect it either. Double knock on, I believe, will be the call here. Well, he's saying the Panthers knocked it on and they've challenged immediately. It looked like it was knocked on first by Newcastle. Panthers immediately launched a captain's challenge here. And there's the hands from Newcastle. Fletcher Hunt, the guilty party. John Michael says, Dan, could you see Jacob Fatu playing rugby league? I'd actually rather see Jacob Fatu in Union, to be honest. Jacob Fatu, a big, bulky Nonu style inside centre. A wrecking ball. Challenge successful. It was knocked on first by the Knights. Panthers with the scrum feed. 10 out in midfield. Yeah, imagine Jacob Fatu running off the hip of Beauden Barrett. A battering ram in midfield. Scrum down. Panthers break away to the left. Edwards spins and heads back towards the posts. Tackle 1, 5 meters out. Schneider into dummy half. He's got Papali'i standing. Now he goes to ground on play 2, right in front of the posts. Schneider out to Eisenhuth. Cleary with the inside ball for Martin. Martin from a standing start throws it back for Eisenhuth. 10 meters out, just to the right of posts. Schneider goes left. Cleary holds the pass up nicely for Papali'i. Tackle 4, 5 meters out. The ball's ripped away, 1-on-1, but too late. Held was already called by the referee. And a penalty here to Penrith. Take the 2. Take the 2. They tap and go. Moses Leota. Crash ball straight up the middle. 5 meters out in front of the posts. Schneider goes right. Cleary drops it off for Tungo. Tungo dances back into midfield. Isaac Tungo goes straight through and scores beside the sticks. Isaac Tungo. Somebody was waiting for him to score, I think, in the TikTok chat. Across he goes. Some really lazy defenders from the Knights. And Isaac Tungo. The easiest try he'll ever score in his life. 4K, that was you. There you go. Straight through, Jacob Saifiti and Jaden Brayley. That was really poor. Really poor. Moana, ahoy there. You just got here. Have the Panthers' tries been good? Or were they just simple and quite lucky? Well, certainly not lucky because they've dominated territory in possession, but they've been quite simple. Yeah, some really, really weak and lazy Knights defense on a lot of occasions, it must be said. I mean, I hate to be harsh, but yeah, it's been really, really poor. Conversion successful, and Panthers are up 48 points to 12. 2 more points, and the Knights officially can't win the premiership. Blow to get this one back underway. I think with 7 minutes remaining, the Knights just want this to end. They've given up on the short restarts now, the Knights. They go deep with this one. And Edwards has got one of the forwards running from the back fence there. Couldn't quite see who it was. It was Liam Henry. And Liam Martin this time. So the 2 Liams working in tandem. Papali'i puts the big left arm out, but the Knights bring him down. Halfway through the set, Schneider onto Edwards. Through the hands left they go now. Talangi throws it out the back to nobody. Casey McLean dives on it, but he's very close to the touchline. And over the sideline he goes. The Knights will get the handover. So Blaise Talangi, he's been decent tonight overall. But a couple of mistakes have crept into his game, and that's fair. I'm not criticising him. That's fair. He's still young. He's still learning the system, so to speak. Mr. Ed's dead. You're going through the second round of storms, taking out your Wi-Fi and missing half the game. So that's terrible to hear. Mr. Ed's dead, but hope all is well over there, mate. 5.5 minutes remaining in this one before we get the Raiders versus Manly. Cogger on the wraparound to Best. Marju in open space. Puts the goose step on Tungo. Tungo comes back at him and takes him just inside the touchline, 10 meters out. Front foot ball now for the Knights. Cogger onto Thompson. Spins out of the first tackle, but they hold him up and dump him on his back. Dominant tackle there from the Panthers. 2 left for the Knights. Cogger out the back for Arthur, who kicks him behind, but Edwards is there for an easy cleanup. Dots it down for the goal line dropout. And, Marju's... How has he stayed in the field of play there, Marju? Lees, you need Cleary to get over on one multi for $900. Oh, short restart here from the Panthers, and Casey McLean slides across the turf and collects the ball. Panthers back in possession. That's incredible, using the conditions perfectly. The goal line restart was low and flat, just dribbled across the ground. Casey McLean slid about 10 meters to scoop it up. Thomas, I'm actually drinking Captain Morgan's out of an Asahi glass. I just think, I do love Asahi. Asahi is one of my go-to beers. But I just happen to really like the glass. These are fantastic drinking glasses. And they just happen to be Asahi branded. I did not steal them from a pub, but we did steal them from an event. We weren't actually... But in fairness, I didn't know we weren't supposed to take them home until we'd already taken them home. Trust me. Oh, that was silly. 3 minutes left in this one. Knights back in possession. 48 points to 12 it is. Gagai gets the fend on Schneider. Offloads. Panthers, 102 tackles inside the opposition half to the Knights, 33. Well, doesn't that just back up what I've been talking about? The Panthers controlling possession and territory. A 70 tackle discrepancy between the teams in the opposition half. It just goes to show how much of this game the Knights have played stuck in their own end. Fifth and last, and Arthur from inside his own 30 puts the kick down, finds some space in behind Edwards. Edwards has an eternity to run this back. Links up with To'o. To'o puts the step on. He's up over the 40. Back in field. Beats Bradman best. Taken down by Gagai now. Inside Knights territory. What a kick return. 2 minutes left to play. The Panthers want that 50. Cleary. Cut out pass now. To the left they go for Eisenhuth. Straightens. 40 metres out. They're staying on the short side. Cleary goes to Talangi. Talangi steps back in field. Beats the first tackle, Blaze. Taken down just outside the 20. Cleary, cut out pass to Eisenhuth. Tackle 4. Talangi takes the line on. Fifth and last, 5 metres out. Cleary. Crossfield kick. To'o bursts onto it and spills it. It sits up for Tungo, but I think it'll be a knock-on against Brian To'o here. Referee has played on, playing advantage as he's done all night, and sends it up as no try. But it looked like a knock-on from Brian To'o. To'o versus Marju. He spills it, but does it go forward? Yes, it does. Looks like it's clearly gone forward here from To'o. Panthers look like they'll fall just short of their 50. Well, Nathan Cleary seems convinced. He's got the ball, and he's standing there ready to take the conversion. They're still trying to confirm which way this ball got. Now, it's made to look like it went backwards because To'o was tackled. After he bobbles the ball, he is tackled by Marju. So the ball does actually end up landing behind Brian To'o. But I think that is just the motion of the tackle that's created that, yes, supporting the on-field call there. I think that's the right decision. The fact that Brian To'o was tackled and ended up in front of the ball made it appear like it might have been knocked back, but it seemed a pretty blatant knock-on. And I think they've come to the right decision there, the bunker, and we don't get to say that very often. But there is a penalty for an early tackle. Panthers still have the chance. 1 minute to go. They'll get one more set of 6 here to try and break the 50. Cleary, inside ball for Papali'i. Yeah, catch you later, Chris. Channel member, Chris Bradley. Cheers, mate. Enjoy your night. McLean back in field. Do we reckon that Kaylane Williams says NRL should give me a job? Do you think they could handle me? Dangerous Dan says I second that idea. But I'd miss all you guys, huh? If I went off to work for the NRL or Fox Sports, I'd miss all you lot, huh? Plus, I don't think they could handle me. Although I think if I went to work for Channel 9, I think Joey Johns and I would get along really well. I've just got a feeling. I think me and Joey would party the house down. Something chronic. Full-time siren sounds, and the Knights drop the ball just to cap off their night. The Panthers have won this one 48 points to 12. So, we have got to get ourselves ready for the next game. Raiders versus Manly is coming up immediately. Now, on YouTube, you should automatically get transferred over to it. Theoretically. That's the way that it's supposed to work. On TikTok, TikTok, we may as well just stay live on TikTok. Even though I can't update the title, we may as well just stay live. And Twitch will also get a new stream starting. So, YouTube, we're about to end, and that will automatically redirect. That's the word I'm looking for. That should automatically redirect over there. Twitch, we'll be right back. TikTok, may as well stay live for the upcoming game, Raiders versus Manly.